Sa panahon ng mabilis na impormasyon at kaliwat kanang balita, kailangan mo ng isang channel na mapagkakatiwalaan, diretsyo at para sa bayan. Ito ang Balitang Pambansa, ang iyong bagong tahanan ng mainit na issue, tunay na impormasyon at mga balitang hindi mo dapat palampasin. Mula sa mga trending na kaganapan sa social media hanggang sa mga seryosong isyong pambansa. Bantay kami sa bawat sulok ng bansa para sa iyo. Hindi lang basta chismis, kundi validated news, mga impormasyon na may batayan at mga kwento ng tunay na buhay Pilipino. At kung gusto mong laging nauuna sa kaalaman, huwag kalimutang mag-like, mag-share at higit sa lahat, mag-subscribe. Dahil sa Balitang Pambansa, balita mo, boses mo, bayan natin ito.
Yan na, yan na. Itatranslate na po natin itatranslate natin. Huwag po kayong mag-alala, sinabi ko naman sa inyo, ako po'y napakagaling na mag-translate ng mga translation.
Magayaw, maayong adlaw, kaninyong tanan.
Oh.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Oh, magandang araw daw po.
Good day to everyone.
Oh, good day.
I am truly happy to have received your invitation for me to grace another year with the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Oh, nagpapasalamat daw po. Inimbitahan siya diyan sa Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry at hindi si BBM dahil sinabi daw po ng Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, hindi daw po bagay diyan si BBM dahil ayaw nila ng amoy magnanakaw. Ganun ang pagkakaintindi ko Yun ang pagkakaintindi ko.
And I wish I could do more for the business sector, but rest assured that the Office of the Vice President will never stop advocating for good governance, especially for the business community.
Oh, ang Vice President daw po hindi po siya titigil na mag-advocate ng business, yung magandang business environment sa Pilipinas basta't wala, hindi na dapat ang mga Marcos. Yun ang pagkakaintindi ko
It is an honor and a privilege to share a message and welcome all of you to the 51st Philippine Business Conference and Expo. Congratulations on successfully hosting this event. Thank you for emphasizing the importance of preparedness for the future as we embrace digital transformation. Today we stand at a pivotal moment in our time when technological evolution creates a new environment that changes the way we conduct business, deliver public services, communicate, transfer knowledge, and acquire data. Artificial intelligence, data science, and digital media have significantly influenced and transformed our methods of communication, data collection, and reaching new markets beyond our physical borders. At the outset, they may be unsettling, yet they have proven to be more efficient, accurate, speedy, and effective in providing real-time data as basis for developing products, services, projects, and programs.
Teka lang, tatagalugin ko po yun. Sabi niya doon, ikaw po Marcos, mamatay ka sa inggit, hindi kayo imbitaan ng PCCI. Kahit na magpatira pa at mapagulong-gulong pa si Lisa Araneta, hindi sila iimbita ng PCCI kasi ayaw ng PCCI yung amoy magnanakaw. Ayun ang pagkakaintindi ko Anong magagawa ko? At lalong-lalong hindi raw iimbitahan si Tambaluslos dyan sa PCCI. ang mga Duterte lang daw ang hindi amoy magnanakaw. O yun ang pagkakaintindi ko eh.
that intuitively address people's needs and interests. Hence, as we embrace the future and its technological changes, it is essential that we highly consider developing and equipping our most important resource.
O, sabi po niya, yung si Bongbong Marcos, kahit ubusin na munang ubusin ang pera ng tao bayan, para siraan si BP Sara, wala ka pa rin, hindi ka pa rin welcome sa PCCI. Yung pagkakaintindi ko, sorry.
Our people, they are at the core of these transformations, navigating the changes and setting new directions, attuned to the evolving needs of the times. Your team on digital transformation, unleashing its power to maximize opportunities for the future, is indeed crucial. The advancement of technology is rapidly affecting our operational processes and impacting our decision-making in business, education, research and innovation, health, public administration, food production, manufacturing, aviation, maritime navigation, and aerospace engineering. These facts are strong reminders of how disruptions can change the game and the direction of our future. It is thus essential that we take stock of our people's capabilities today and prepare. We cannot wait for the future to unfold while we hold on to strategies and systems that may no longer provide effective, significant future transformations. Digital transformation will be the bridge to the future, paving the way for inclusivity through training, upskilling, deep dive mentoring, and industry exposure to equip our human resources. The new skills and knowledge they acquire will prove useful as they figure into roles that require creative and innovative thinking, problem solving, and leadership. Beyond employment, let us also strive to position our people to become future innovators, thinkers, producers, and entrepreneurs. Let us hone them to be job creators and economic shapers, bringing in more dynamism to our economy as we diversify our industry mix and create a balance between producers and importers. Our goal is to maximize the potential of our human and natural resources, leveraging the power of technology and digital transformation to create growth centers that host competitive, homegrown producers, service providers, and exporters. These strategies will be significant economic drivers that will help create local jobs, increase domestic activities, and spur development and progress in domestic and micro economies across the Philippines. Beyond physical development, digital transformation will be our strategic tool for better governance and nation building. It is our tool to facilitate innovation and enhance our capabilities in delivering public services and responding to disaster, crisis, and emergencies. More importantly, it is our weapon against corruption. As we digitize, we automate our processes, make data and all government transactions seamless, borderless, and transparent. And we leave no room for scrupulous backdoor transactions. We take away the power of corrupt leaders to manipulate public funds and capitalize on people's money for their personal interests, greed, and political ambition.
Oh, sabi niya, political ambition. Masyado kayong ambisyoso, hindi na kayo nagtrabaho para sa bayan. Puro na lang kayo politika ng politika. Hindi nyo inintindi na ang bayan ay bumabagsak na. Kaya hindi kayo inimbitahan ng PCCI dahil kayo ay mga bangag at mga korap.
The welfare of the people is our highest priority. Technology will be our powerful tool to impose checks and balances, monitor paper trails, eliminate arbitrary and politically motivated decision-making, and prevent unconstitutional budget insertions to curry political favor at the expense of the people's money. If technology is a blessing to modern society, then let us use it to protect the people's rights and welfare. The right to have better governance, the right to have better opportunities in our homeland, and the strong political will to put our leaders in check when they have unforgivably gone beyond the authority that the people have vested in them. Let us use technology and digital transformation as weapons to close the door where corruption once thrived unchecked and unpunished. Our readiness for change brought by digital transformation will test our capability and agility in embracing technological evolution. By investing in our people and developing our capacities today, we can strategically take advantage of future opportunities and create a stronger, more resilient, and more competitive nation. Nakakapagod na po ang maging huli dito sa ating rehiyon at sa buong mundo. Let us move forward with greater resolve to make our nation great because the Filipinos deserve better.
Nakakapagod na daw po ang laging biktima ng mga bangag. Biktima ng mga korap, magnanakaw.
Mabuhay ang Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mabuhay ang bawat Pilipinong tunay na nagmamahal sa Pilipinas. Mga kababayan, ang lahat ng ginagawa natin ay para sa Diyos, sa bayan, at sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Syukran.
Syukran. Ang ginagawa natin ay para sa bayan, ay para sa Diyos, sa bayan at sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Sila ang ginagawa nila para siraan ang Duterte, para ibagsak ang Duterte, at para pukulong ang mga Duterte. Yun lang, wala na. Wala na. Ilang ginagawa ng mga tratado.
Thank you so much for that inspiring message, Vice President Sara Duterte. And to make this event even more memorable, we shall have a quick photo opportunity.
So mga kareaksyon, panoorin naman po natin si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano dito sa pagbalasa niya kay Secretary, DPWH Secretary, Vice President wannabe Vince Dizon. Ito na po mga kareaksyon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary. Disclosure muna kasi may nagsabi na may question sa team nyo. Pending a DNA, yung staff ko si Raf ay hindi ka mag-anak ni Secretary Vince, ha? Ayan, tumayo ka naman. Ayan. So. Pending a DNA test. No, patatrabohin ko siya na singsipag ni Sec Vince. Tignan ko kung mag-iiba din yung itsura. Kasi nung sa DUTR, hindi naman ganyan ang itsura mo, Sec Vince, no? How many in your team are lawyers? In that top level? Raise your hands na lang. 1, 2,
Tatlo po
Tatlo.
sa aking pagkakaalam. Si Undersecretary Conti, Undersecretary Bernabe, and Undersecretary Turgano, who is unfortunately not.
Yeah,
Not here
so magandang hapon sa mga kumpanyero namin and siguro maintindihan nyo yung sasabihin ko. I hope the public understands it then. Di ba, first year in law school, para klaro lahat ng usapan, we start with a simple formula. What are the facts? Based on the facts, what are the issues? And then sa issues, ano yung ruling? So, may basic argument muna ko ano yung facts, but you don't argue what kaya nga fact eh. Diba? So, if you're saying, I'm wearing green, if you argue ng konti that it's a certain shade of green, okay, but not much argument, diba, Yusek Conti, diba? So, what's the issue? Let's say the issue is, bagay ba kay Alan yan o hindi? O, that's subjective. Diba? So, marami ng opinion dyan. You won't agree on the opinion. Diba? But for example, ang sabihin is, kay Alan ba yan? Or hiniram ba niya? Kasi clinic-claim ni Joel, hiniram ko lang, hindi ko na sinoli. Diba? Then that's the issue. We can debate on the issue, sinong may resibo, paano. Then you go to the ruling. Unfortunately, nowadays, there are facts, alternative facts, fake news, false news. Hindi naman bago yun, no? But ang point ko lang po, hindi tayo nagkakaintindihan lahat, no? So, in my questioning, I'll start with, kasi we cannot argue with principles, di ba? So, for example, if you say ko, anong itatanim? Yan ang aanihin. I think we'll agree there, di ba? I cannot tell you, magtanim kayo ng flood control, magkakaroon tayo ng classroom. Magtanim tayo ng health center, magkakaroon tayo ng flood control. So, that's a basic principle. Kung ano itanim mo, yan ang anihin mo. Of course, I interchange biblical principle because they're, and just logic, because they're principles and their logic, no? So, for example po, no? The biblical principle is prevent evil, do good, pero if you're going to be spiritual, may isa pa, align with what God wants. So if you apply it to civil government, it's not enough that we prevent corruption, di ba? And do good. We have to align the priorities kung anong priority ng administration. Kasi kayong binoto eh. Di ba? Before the election, pag sinabi ng isa, peace and order yung priority, sabihin ng isa, priorities the economy, sabihin ng isa, I'm talking priorities kasi lahat naman yan importante. So, I'll start that question. I'll start the questions based on that, no? Do you agree, Secretary Vince, that medyo twofold nga yung inyong nation building, di ba? One is the actual building, di ba? The roads, the bridges, the buildings, schools, di ba? And the other one is cleaning up the department.
Tama po, yun ang dalawang kabilin-biginan po ng Pangulo nung bago po ako umupo bilang DPWH.
And the second one, which is cleaning up the department, is given to any agency, but usually not too much emphasis because usually we assume that there is much more good. Diba? So, kung harap ko ang BIR ngayon, I would assume there are some bad eggs, but I would assume na, or if there's a systemic problem with BIR, hindi ko naman i-assume na lahat, i-fire lahat ng commissioners or deputy commissioners, ganun din kung custom, etc. But it so happened because of the flood control ghost scandal, kasi hindi, as you said, Sec Vince, I think as far as the first Department of Public Works around the world, ay may corruption na. Diba? The first public works was the Garden of Eden, na kinurap nung snake at ni Adam at saka ni Eve by eating the fruit. So, then it's in the DNA, no? So, the point is, in fixing the problem of corruption, you need a new team, which you have. You have to see what's happening sa department, what you can change. All the senators here naman today contributed, di ba? Chairman has been contributing not only in this committee, in the Blue Ribbon Committee. Having said that, hindi pwedeng hindi dual yung priority mo. Meaning, if yung paghahabol sa lahat ng corrupt at yung pagbabago ng sistema, mahihinto naman yung public works. We lose more. Do you agree with that?
Agree po,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
So on that point, may I ask you this question? Do you know how to rig biddings?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do you think that this is the time that you should learn?
We institute the necessary reforms?
Yes. So thank you for getting it. Kasi I asked exactly the same question kay Secretary Bunoan. Halatang nagtitinginan sila ng mga USEC ng hindi nagtitinginan, hindi naman mukhang guilty to be fair, pero parang na-shock sa question ko tapos parang ayaw sagutin. But I told him this, in 1997 or 98, kaharap ko isang ministro. And I was shocked what he said kasi ministro nga eh. So religious group, head ng malaking church, no? At least in our district. At sinabi niya sa akin, Alan, susuportahan ka namin as congressman. Pero ang tanong ko sa inyo, marunong ka ba mandaya? And of course, I was shocked. Bakit mo tatanungin ko marunong ako mandaya? Eh, kaya mo nga ako sinusuportahan. I'm bringing in, kasi endemic yung dayaan sa election doon, pati sa Taguig. And sinabi niya sa akin, kasi ayaw kong masayang yung boto namin sa iyo kung ikaw ay dadayain. Diba? So I ask you that question because Vin, so much people trust and put their trust in you and the DPWH and in your mission. So if you don't know how to rig the biddings or how it's done, I'm not asking you to rig the bid. Very, very clear yan, ha? Hindi ko sinasabing i-manipulate, i-rig, dayain, kurakutin, whatever, yung pondo ng DPWH, yung bidding. Ang sinasabi ko lang, pare-pareho tayo dito. Kung hindi namin alam paano patakbuhin, for example, no? Kung ako ay bagong senador at hindi ko alam kung paano patakbuhin ang office ko, marami akong staff na tatawag ko saan-saan ahensya at hihingi ng special favor. Diba? So that's one thing senators or congressmen have to learn right away. How to make sure that in fighting monsters, they do not become the monsters at the same time. Another lesson is we have to verify all of our information. Diba? Kasi ang daling magsalita eh. We can ruin lives, we can rule teams, we can ano. So, my point, Mr. Secretary, is I hope you learn all the tricks of the trade because as you change the rules, mag-a-adapt din yung mga nangungurakot. Diba? We've seen that nung bata tayo, bago tayo doon, but we're not that young anymore. So, from one administration to the other, ang testimony ng mga diskaya, nasaan yung kay diskaya? Yung may picture. Ito ba yan? Yan. So sabi ng mga diskaya, I'm not saying it's gospel truth or totoo, but as reference lang. Noong panahon ni former President Pinoy ay umaabot sa 10%, sa panahon ni President Duterte ay 12 to 15%, subalit sa panahon ngayon ng mahal na presidente ay umaabot na ng 25 to 30%. Ang total na porsyento na proyekto na hinihingi ng mga congressman gamit ang kanilang mga tao o tinatawag na bagman. At ito ang pinakamataas na hinihingi sa lahat ng contractor sa Pilipinas. We know also this gospel truth kasi may ghost eh. So obviously ghost is much more than 25%. And to be fair to President Duterte, President Aquino, whether we talk about President Marcos Sr., President Fidel V. Ramos, kickbacks in government contracts, lalong infrastructure, has always been a problem, di ba? So, my point, Secretary, is I want to know, with such a huge task, no, wag muna tayo sa building, sa corruption muna. What will you focus on? Ano yung bullseye para sa'yo? Kasi kung hindi ka naman ombudsman, at kahit ombudsman ka, di ba? Ombudsman, hindi pwedeng DPWH lang. There are other agencies. Di ba? Sabi nung isang study, for every 1 peso we collect, 1 to 2 pesos hindi natin kinokollect. So yun ang pinakamalaking scam or scheme sa Pilipinas, di ba? Kasi if we collect 4 trillion, hindi na collect 4 to 8 trillion, mas malaki yun. Pero hindi madaling hulihin yun. That's every single port, that's every single tax na ini-evade, di ba? So sa palagay mo, Secretary, to be fair to you, you've only been there for 5 weeks, right? 5 weeks, no? What will you focus on? Or dito sa corruption, what's the bullseye for you?
Unang-una po, nasabi ko na rin po ito kanina, Mr. Chairman, dalawa po ang kailangang focus. Mahirap po siya, pero kailangan pong gawin. Kasi yun po ang inaasahan ng mga kababayan natin. Unang-una, kailangan pong managot yung mga dapat managot. Unang-una. No? At ang responsibilidad po namin ngayon, una, mag-focus sa loob ng DPWH para po matakot at hindi na gagawin ulit. Yun po ang unang-una. No? Kami po ay nakikipagtulungan din sa ICI at sa Ombudsman para yung ibang mga dapat managot